Welcome to the Metal Verbalizers podcast. We think that underground metal deserves far more appreciation because there are a lot of hard-working musicians and great music to be found in underground metal. We think this should be supported and appreciated, which is why we started this podcast. We also want to share the great underground music with you. If you enjoy this podcast, your support is very important, because if more people find us, the more we can support the bands that we verbalize. You can support us by, for example, subscribing on YouTube and following on Spotify. While you're there, feel free to also rate the podcast. All of this can be done very quickly, very easily, and completely free. But it would really help the podcast and the bands we verbalize. We would be very thankful. In this type of episode, we choose a band and talk about things such as influence, style, lyrics, future plans, etc. in order to give you an introduction and an idea what the band is like, and of course encouraging you to listen to their music and look into them further. I am Johan Verbalizer, and this episode will be dedicated to the band KirthRoth. KirthRoth is a one-woman black metal band from the USA and was started in 2019. It doesn't happen very often, but I think it is time to feature another black metal band. The woman who started KirthRoth used to be in a band together with other members before starting KirthRoth, or well, kind of, as she put it. Apparently that band was struggling a lot because of drama. Schedules this and girlfriends that. You probably get the idea. It didn't take long until the band disbanded. After all these issues, she was tired of all the drama she had to deal with. She felt it would be easier to just do everything herself instead. She felt the confidence that she could, so why not? She didn't know exactly how to play black metal chords, but she heard Striborg say, just feel it and know your minor chords. After that, she managed to learn it easily. When all of this kind of fell in place, that's when KirthRoth officially began. When it comes to the influences of KirthRoth, these include bands such as Sasther, Striborg, Leviathan, especially the album The 10th Sublevel of Suicide, as well as the one-woman black metal band Hulder. I'm also a big fan of Hulder, by the way. I remember the first time I heard Bestial Form of Humanity. I really liked it immediately. In terms of drummers, KirthRoth is influenced by drummers such as Frost from Satyricon, Fenris from Darkthrone, and Hellhammer from Mayhem, as well as the drummer Incubus from the band Inquisition, and a Mortimer from the band Asacharaum. In terms of guitar, the band is mainly influenced by Dagon from Inquisition. The same goes for bass, as well as being very influenced by the bass playing of Makashana from Asacharaum. If you like the raw type of black metal in the style of something like Transylvanian Hunger by Darkthrone, chances are that you will really like KirthRoth, especially the band's first album titled Summoning of Our Lord Lucifer. The album A Witch's Last Hour has a similar sound, but personally I feel that one is a little bit more kind of atmospheric and kind of experimental, with the lack of better words for it. While many black metal bands have pretty long songs, most songs on Transylvanian Hunger, for example, that I mentioned, are longer than 5 minutes, but most KirthRoth songs tend to range somewhere between 3 to 4 minutes. When it comes to the image of KirthRoth, it began as being very satanic, but eventually she wanted something else that is a little bit more meaningful, if you know what I mean. She found out that she's a descendant of Margaret Scott, which was apparently one of the innocent women hanged during the Salem witch trials. From that point, it was clear what KirthRoth was going to represent and write about. He wants to honor the memory of these women who were executed for no reason. The change from the satanic theme to the witch theme is pretty clear in the discography of KirthRoth, I would say. The first album being called Summoning of Our Lord Lucifer, which is pretty clearly satanic, and the next one, A Witch's Last Hour. The band's image and music is supposed to visualize the gruesome acts and brutality of the Salem witch trials, as told by one of the so-called witches, which is also more or less what the lyrics are about as well. As KirthRoth, she has created all her own art. The art is black and white and generally dark to visualize the message of the band. The origin of the name KirthRoth is, as she admits herself, kind of a cliché, since it is coming from the elven language of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Kirth means 9 and Roth means circle, so the name KirthRoth basically means 9th circle. The exact meaning is intentionally ambiguous. It could refer to the 9th circle of hell. It could also refer to Dante's Inferno's 9th level of hell. When the name was originally given to the band, it was intended to have a satanic meaning like that. But the number 9 can also refer to higher consciousness, selflessness, and compassion as a symbol for spiritual enlightenment with a dark twist. So even after the band abandoned the satanic theme in favor of the witch theme, the name still makes sense. When it comes to the future of KirthRoth, she would really like to start performing live, if she can find the right people to help her do so. But she made it very clear that she wants KirthRoth to remain a one-woman band. Some people have suggested that she could use backing tracks for live shows, but she seems very skeptical of that idea. As far as I personally understand it, she wants to perform with a band or not at all. She would also like to make some music videos for some of the band's songs to really be able to visualize the stories she's telling through the music. I'm going to end this with a quote from the woman who started KirthRoth. Quote, "If you're in a one-person band, regardless of genre, don't be discouraged. Just go for it. If you're tired of bands with so many issues, start your own project. It's hard at times, but you're the one who makes or breaks it. I've had so much fun with my own project and have been heard and seen more than ever before. Playing with other musicians is amazing, but doing your own thing and having your own individual message heard is really awesome." End of quote. These are my thoughts and comments about the band, but now I would like to hear your thoughts. What do you think about KirthRoth? Do you have a favorite song by this band? If so, which one? Let us know in the YouTube comments or on social media. Black metal bands are pretty rare on this podcast, but if you want more black metal bands to be featured, let me know. And I would appreciate some suggestions of specific black metal bands that you have in mind, since I don't know much about what today's black metal has to offer. But I do have at least a few black metal bands in mind for future episodes. But I would really appreciate if, again, if you would want me to feature more black metal bands, then definitely let me know. And if you have any specific bands in mind, then I would really appreciate if you would like to give them to me. We have now reached the end of this episode. It means a lot to me that you've been listening all the way to the end. I really appreciate that. We will be back to Verbalize again next week.